0976 161213. That is 0976 161213. Or contact us via our 24/7 hotline on 0975 442107. We also have branches in Monze, Luansha, Chongwe, and Livingstone. Horizon Funeral Services. Come for affordable and quality services.
It's almost here. Your gateway to the north is loading in preparation for those wanting to explore the region. That's right, Kasama Airport has been upgraded and will soon be opening its doors to travelers. Explore Kasama through your gateway to possibilities. Zambia Airports Corporation Limited. Keep flying.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, air con filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960 747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news at 18:30. The headlines. President Hichilema pardons 815 inmates. Call for increased women's participation in decision-making as Zambia celebrates its 59th independence anniversary. Malema calls for boycott of Israeli goods in South Africa. And now to present the news in detail, my name is Judith Mwape. President Hakainde Hichilema has pardoned 815 inmates to commemorate the 59th independence anniversary, which falls tomorrow. President Hichilema has also commuted sentences for 17 inmates. This is in exercise of the president's prerogative of mercy. Announcing the development during a media briefing today, Home Affairs Minister Jack Mwimbu says those pardoned include 89 females, some of whom have circumstantial children, and 743 are males. Mr. Mwimbu says the release of 815 inmates represents 3.2% of the prisons and correctional facility of 2,666. Mr. Mwimbu says the pardoning of the 815 inmates has been done after a rigorous process of scrutiny and an assessment in accordance with the provision of the Correctional Service Act No. 37 of 2021. He says the government has set aside some money to help the pardoned inmates to reintegrate in society. The minister also revealed that the government has started an audit of facilities in order to speed up the dispensation of justice for citizens.
the President of the Republic of Zambia and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has exercised this prerogative of mercy on 832 to commemorate Zambia's 59th independence anniversary, which falls on the 24th of October 2020. This includes the release of 815 inmates and the commutation of sentences for 17 inmates.
As Zambia celebrates its 59th independence anniversary tomorrow, Action Aid Zambia has called on the government to reflect on the need to increase women participation in decision-making, especially at parliamentary level. In a statement issued ahead of Independence Day celebration, Action Aid Zambia Interim Country Director Jovina Nawenzake says the government should equally facilitate the easy process to acquisition of land and other capital resources to allow women have a meaningful stake in decision-making and income stability. Ms. Nawenzake said it is until that day of economic empowerment that women will stand and proclaim that they are indeed proud and free. This year's Independence Day is being commemorated under the theme Accelerating National Development Through Equitable Disbursement of Resources. And Ms. Nawenzake says the Action Aid feels the theme resonates well with the current economic struggles that most women and youths are going through in the country. She believes that Zambians can only proudly celebrate their liberty from colonialism if most of the people, especially women, have access to land, which in return can help them build a decent future by way of engaging in economic activities. She is concerned that with 59 years of political independence, Zambia still has less than 20% of women and youth owning land. The National Action for Quality Education in Zambia has urged political leaders to take charge of the country's remaining vast mineral resources to raise enough revenue for the government to effectively mobilize resources for the education sector. Organization Executive Director Aaron Chansa believes that this can help the government to increase the budgetary allocation to the sector and invest heavily in research, technology, and innovation. Dr. Chansa has observed that more resources are required to expand school infrastructure, equip public colleges and universities if the government is to actualize skills development and training in entrepreneurship. He has proposed that the government and other stakeholders apply more efforts to the education sector in order for the country to begin offering wide quality education to its citizens as Zambia turns 59 years tomorrow.
We see a crisis in desks. There are no laboratories for sciences. Very few schools have laboratories. We don't have decent accommodation, and we want to see more classes being built in our schools. And beyond 59 years as a country, we want to urge our political leaders to pump more money in our education sector. We want them to be much more consistent in funding education, and we urge our leaders to take charge of our country's vast mineral resources.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has registered 4,409 voters in the month of September 2023, out of which 2,412 are males, while 1,997 are females. Choma recorded the highest number of registered voters in the month under review at 425, while Solwezi recorded the least at 54. This brings a cumulative total number of registered voters for the period January to September 2023 to 14,557. The Commission on Tuesday, 5th September 2023, commenced the continuous registration of voters in 10 additional districts, namely Chongwe, Kabompo, Kitwe, Livingston, Lundazi, Mbala, Mkushi, Nakonde, Nchelenge, and Sesheke. This is according to a statement issued by ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga. Acting Minister of Information and Media and Chief Government Spokesperson Makozo Chikote says the death of former Finance Minister Ngandu Magande is a source of deep grief and sorrow to the nation. In a statement, Mr. Chikoti says Mr. Magande's impeccable legacy includes his contribution to the development of Zambia's economy, as he was also one of the main architects of Zambia's attainment of the High Indebted Poor Countries initiative, which was key in reviving and stabilizing the country's economy then. He says Mr. Magande leaves behind a footprint of diligent and distinguished service to the nation, having served in various key responsibilities both at home and abroad. Mr. Chikoti says the loss of two senior citizens in less than 48 hours, namely former Speaker of the National Assembly, Amusa Mwanamwambwa, who died on Saturday, 21st October 2023, and former Finance Minister who died last night at Maina Soko Medical Center at the age of 76, is unbearable. He says the government conveys its condolences to the bereaved family on this painful loss. Another story is trending this evening. Socialist Party leader Fred Membe says it is frustrating and humiliating for parents to fail to provide nshima, which is the country's staple food, for their families because of the high cost of living. The Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has implored health facilities in cholera-prone areas to urgently make orders for chlorine and intravenous fluids from the agency in an effort to curb looming cholera outbreak. Up next to business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The government says it attaches great importance to the development of skills and education sector and is alive to the fact that quality training is indispensable to national development. Speaking during the Diamond Jubilee commemoration of the Evelyn Horn College today, Ministry of Technology and Science Permanent Secretary Brilliant Habenzu says education in every sense is one of the fundamental factors of development, as it arises people's productivity and creativity and promotes entrepreneurship and technological advances. Dr. Habenzu notes that education plays a very crucial role in securing economic and social progress and improves income distribution among citizens. He also believes that education is an essential tool that provides knowledge for sustainable development, as it allows everyone to obtain skills, attitudes, and values necessary to shape the future in a more sustainable way. Dr. Habenzu has further commended the college management for its desire to transform into a university college as stipulated in its strategic plan.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now on foreign news. South Africa's third biggest political party, the Economic Front Fighters, has held a protest outside the Israeli embassy in the capital, Pretoria. Party leader Julius Malema once again called for the closure of the embassy after saying Israel's government had no respect for humanity. Mr. Malema also urged retailers in the country to remove Israeli-produced goods from their shelves by the end of October. Here's a roundup from the BBC.
The head of the main UN agency helping Palestinians in Gaza says hundreds of truckloads of aid are needed every day, rather than the few dozens which have been allowed in so far. Thomas White described conditions in the south as dire. Israel says it's not permitting fuel deliveries because they could be commandeered by Hamas. In other news, the Supreme Court in Nigeria has begun hearing a challenge to President Bola Tinubu's election victory earlier this year. Two of the main opposition candidates, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, have asked the court to overturn the judgment of a lower court which upheld the original result. Both men have pointed to what they say were irregularities in the poll in February. The president-elect of the Maldives, Mohamed Muiz, has urged India to withdraw all its troops from his country. The winner of last month's poll told the BBC that the independence and sovereignty of the Maldives should be respected. There are about 75 Indian military personnel in the country.
And finally, in sports news, Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag says Sir Bobby Charlton will continue to inspire the club following his death aged 86. Ten Hag expects an emotional Old Trafford atmosphere on Tuesday evening when FC Copenhagen visits the Champions League. It will be United's first home game since club legend Charlton's death was announced on Saturday. And now the weather report brought to you by Classic On.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Western, northwestern, Copperbelt and Luapula provinces are partly cloudy, slightly windy and mild. Southern, Lusaka, central, eastern, Muchinga and northern provinces are mainly clear, slightly windy and mild. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that item brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. President Hichilema pardons 815 inmates. Government urged to reflect on the need to increase women participation in decision-making as Zambia celebrates 59th independence anniversary. Malema calls for boycott of Israeli goods in South Africa. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwape. Good evening.